Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Tech Tuesday on the Educational AD Podcast. We'll be right back with today's guest, but first, let's give a shout out to our podcast partners, the global community of women in high school sports, and We Coach. These are two wonderful organizations. You should be a part of it as an AD, as a coach. That's We Coach, the global community of women in high school sports. Now, let's hear from our podcast sponsors. We want to say thanks to Huddle for their support. Go to huddle.com. Huddle is how the world sees sports. Over 200,000 teams across 40 different sports use Huddle to help their athletes perform better using video and analytics. As a head football coach, I used Huddle for years. And as an athletic director, our school was a Huddle school. And our coaches just love the mobile apps, the smart cameras. Of course, they love the analytics, but there's so much more. Huddle has tools to help every team, every athlete play at the highest level. And whether you're a club coach, a youth coach, or a high school or college coach, Huddle is the solution for you at a professional grade level. Go to huddle.com. We believe in sports and teams believe in Huddle. Over 6 million users, can't be wrong. Go to huddle.com. We also want to say thanks to Snap Raise. Go to snapraise.com or go to their parent website on snap.com. Check out the entire platform. For Snap Raise, better fundraising makes a better program. And the Snap Raise fundraising platform is something you got to check out. We used it at our school, and our coaches just loved it. Our parents loved it. There's no upfront cost. There's no inventory. Your data is secure, and it works. Choosing the best fundraiser for you and your school is critical, and you can put the Snap Raise digital fundraising difference to work. It's easy, it's safe, and it works. Go to snapraise.com and check out the thousands and thousands of dollars that they have helped schools just like yours raise using Snap Raise. Change your fundraising game plan and start a fundraiser that works for you. Go to snapraise.com to get started. We also want to say thanks to Final Forms. Final Forms is the industry leader in registration, but there's so much more than that. Final Forms can help your stakeholders with things like mobile accessibility. They can also help with reminders about policies, about physicals, and all the forms that come with athletics. Final Forms can help your coaches with things like communication and attendance. And for you as an athletic director, Final Forms can help you with eligibility, with rosters, and all the reports that come across your desk. You know, it's time that you talk to a team that's walked in your shoes. To take the next steps and find out what Final Forms can do for you, go to finalforms.com/Jake. That's finalforms.com/Jake to get started with Final Forms. We also want to thank Gipper. Go to Gipper.com and see how athletic directors are creating world-class marketing content for their school social media channels. You can do it in seconds on any device, and you don't need any design experience. It's so easy, even I can do it. Go to Gipper.com, use the podcast code, and get 10% off. That's ADPOD10. Gipper.com allows you to create custom branded content for your school's social media channel. That's Gipper.com. And we want to thank Hometown Ticketing, the leading digital ticketing provider to schools and colleges. Go to hometownticketing.com. They'll show you how to set up and start selling your tickets online. They'll show you how to scan the attendees that come to your games. They'll also show you how to collect your revenue. And every step of the way, you'll have a dedicated client success manager that's providing hands-on support. That's every step of the way. Go to hometownticketing.com. They'll also show you how to set up and sell tickets for things like school dances, school plays, concerts, even graduation. That's hometownticketing.com. Simple and easy online ticketing. We also want to say thanks to Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack. We use surveys at my school for years for just about everything, parents, kids, coaches, And the information that comes back is almost always overwhelmingly positive, and it will be for you too. But those surveys also allow that squeaky wheel parent to vent a little bit. And many times they'll share a small issue that you can address and keep it from turning into a big issue because you didn't know about it because you hadn't done a survey. Go to athleticsurveys.com or send them an email at info@athleticsurveys.com to get started. If you've never used a survey to take the pulse of your parents or your student athletes, you're really missing out. Talk to the folks at Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack and let them help you take your athletic program from good to great. We also want to say thanks to Wall of Fame by Vital Signs for their support. If you're looking for a really cool way to display your school's record boards for all your sports or your school's Hall of Fame, go to vitalsignswalloffame.com and check out their interactive touchscreen consoles along with their library of templates. This is going to help you recognize the athletic achievements of your students, both past and present, and help you showcase your school's diverse history and your proudest moments. Once again, go to vitalsignswalloffame.com or email them at sales@vitalsignswalloffame.com. That's sales@vitalsignswalloffame.com. And we want to say thanks to Sideline Interactive indoor scoring tables and video boards. We have a Sideline Interactive indoor scoring table in our gym, and it's just fantastic. We use it for home games, of course, but we also use it for pep rallies, for signing ceremonies. It's tremendously versatile. And the Sideline Interactive customer support team is just fantastic. Go to sidelineinteractive.com and schedule a live web demo to see their tables and boards in action. You can also email them at sales@sidelineinteractive.com to check out what their fantastic products can do for you. Their tables can generate income for your department and also create the ultimate game day experience for your student athletes. That's sidelineinteractive.com. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Tech Tuesday as part of the Educational AD podcast. We've got, as I like to say, a friend of the show, Scott Paine. Scott's a certified master athletic administrator, longtime AD. He's doing some consulting now, also a member of the NIAAA faculty for their tech courses. And he's kind of our podcast tech guru. So, Scott, what do you have for us this week on Tech Tuesday?
Hey, happy Tuesday, Jake. Happy Tuesday, everybody listening. This one is an app this time. I know the most recent two that I've done, we were talking national conference and LTCs and all the fun that we are going to have in Nashville. But this one, we're going back to just some stuff that you can find on the internet for your own usage. This one is called If This, Then That. They abbreviate that to IFTTT. What this one is, this is literally your imagination is your only barrier to the use of this product. It's a free web service mobile app. The website is in the show notes. It's literally ifttt.com. What it does is it will take any apps that you use and it can integrate a workflow for you. It's hard to really bring this one down to like the foundational level, but like think of it like this. Like if I have an email that comes in my Google account and I have labels made for it and I label those emails, like maybe when I was an AD, I would always have, here's my to-do emails, I'm not responding emails, here's, I need to reread these ones. And I labeled those, and you can make those labels. And if I made a label that was a to-do, the If This Then That app would take, anytime I labeled a to-do email, it would translate that into a to-do list in my Google Keep. I didn't do anything other than the label in Gmail, and that was it. You can, I don't know how else to say it. You can literally, your imagination, the free version of it does a pretty darn good job. Another example that you can do is we discussed like the different lightning tracker apps a couple times ago on Tech Tip Tuesdays. And I had one of those, like instead of the app notifying me, if I had I was always more attuned to my email than anything else in the trenches in AD. So if my Lightning app, there's a strike that generated on it within say 30 miles of the school, it would just shoot me an email and from it. And that was because I set those parameters up in if this, then that. If anyone is at the national conference and at all wants to tinker with this one, I'm happy to meet between sessions and show you how this one works, because there's just so much you can do. There's a lot of good YouTube videos on it. But literally your imagination, if you use any apps, if you have a Roomba in your house, you can have it literally like always dock your Roomba when your phone gets within a certain area of your home. Like you literally can come up with any scenario of apps that you use. If I go into the bathroom and my phone knows where I'm at in my house or whatever, like it turns on a Spotify playlist from my Google Assistant. You can get super complicated, but you can also make very easy workflows in your office to just streamline some things. And it's literally just a couple clicks of a button.
Wow. I was, taking notes as you were sharing all those different things. My head's spinning right now, which is not the idea. What looking at let's say looking at your time as an AD, what's maybe one or two things from that particular app that you would just say, all right, these are must-haves for me?
Yeah, definitely the email one. There's a lot of things you can do. We were a Google school system at both the main schools I worked at. Actually, all three of the schools I worked at. And my easiest one would have been just connecting different email functions to like to-do lists or reminders. Like, hey, I need a reminder to show up to this. And I used it a lot on my email. Secretarially, we also used it with like if someone came into the office and I wasn't there, we had a setup where if one of my secretaries made a note of it on their computer, it would trigger a if this then that, and it would shoot me another thing onto a to-do list. Hey, can you call back? Well, so and so. So it saved you on like putting information into multiple places all the time. Those were the two biggest ones I used it on, was mainly just making to-do lists for myself instead of just writing the sticky note and adding it to the other 15 sticky notes on my desk or on my wall or on the whiteboard. It would just automatically categorize it for me, and it helped me a lot in organization.
Yeah, I think that was probably where I would probably start, with the email connection. Scott, you mentioned, and again, this does appear in the show notes, but if one of our listeners wanted to reach out, pick your brain a little bit, maybe set up that meeting in Nashville, what's the best way that they can get a hold of you?
Yeah, absolutely. I again in the show notes is my consulting freelance gig, AthletiTech consulting at gmail.com. That's athleta, not athletic. And you can also do me on my personal email, so Paine.Scott at gmail.com. And then I'm on LinkedIn and Twitter as @Coach Paine. So you can always direct message me on any of those platforms or email me, and I'm happy to just talk shop. Like I want to be giving you more tools for your toolbox, as Jake would put out there for you. So always happy to talk. This one is definitely a lot of things you can do with it. That's why I tried to very, very lightly put the toe in the water, because there's a lot of things you can do with this one.
Okay. Again, Scott Paine, a certified master athletic administrator, also going to be, teaching the 2 tech courses at, Nashville and at the NADC conference. Reach out, if you want to raise your tech IQ. You've got a great resource right here, and we're happy to bring him in as part of Tech Tuesday. Scott, thanks as always for sharing, and we will see you in Nashville.
Hey, my pleasure. Win today, everybody, and hopefully see you all in Nashville.
Okay. For our listeners, remember, we do this every Tuesday, and we also upload the Zoom videos to our Educational AD Podcast YouTube channel. Thanks again for listening. Come back next time for another Tech Tuesday, and just about every day on the Educational AD Podcast. We'll see you next time. Hey, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Tech Tuesday. We do it every week, and we appreciate your support. And let us know if there's a tech question or subject you'd like Scott or one of our other presenters to tackle on a future episode. The best way to get a hold of me is my email. That's Touchdown, all one word, Jake's Touchdown at gmail.com. That's also my Twitter handle, Jake's Touchdown. Before we leave, we want to recognize our sponsors. Let's start with athletic surveys. You've heard me say this before. We use surveys at my schools for years, for teachers, for coaches, for parents. And the information that came back was almost always positive. And it'll be the same for you. But doing that survey allows that squeaky wheel parent to vent. And sometimes they'll share a small issue that you can address and keep it from turning into a big issue. Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack are experts at creating surveys for your school. Go to athleticsurveys.com or email them at info@athleticsurveys.com for more information. I want to say thanks to Hometown Ticketing. I did not use Hometown Ticketing as they were coming into vogue before or just as I was retiring as an AD, but I have talked to hundreds of athletic directors who swear by it. Go to hometownticketing.com and start selling tickets at your school digitally. I want to say thanks to Final Forms. Final Forms is the official registration platform for the FIAAA's annual conference, and they can do the same thing for your school. Go to finalforms.com/Jake. See all the ways they can help you as an AD, your coaches, and your stakeholders. I want to say thanks to snapraise.com. Our coaches at my school use SnapRaise as a fundraiser, and it was just fantastic. SnapRaise even has a platform that you can collect and receive fundraising dollars before you even start your fundraiser. Go to snapraise.com for more information. We also want to say thank you to Huddle. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years. As an athletic director, we were a Huddle school. Go to huddle.com and see how your school can become a Huddle school. I want to say thank you to Wall of Fame by Vital Signs. The FIAAA has a Wall of Fame touchscreen console for our organization's Hall of Fame. And if you're looking for a cool way to recognize your teams, display your school's record boards, as well as your Hall of Fame, go to vitalsignswalloffame.com. That's vitalsignswalloffame.com. We also want to thank Sideline Interactive. Indoor scoring tables and video boards. We've got a Sideline Interactive indoor scoring table in our gym, and it's just fantastic. Go to sidelineinteractive.com or email them at sales@sidelineinteractive.com for more information. We also want to say thank you to Gipper. If you're looking at this at YouTube, our backdrop is a Gipper template, and they've got hundreds of Gipper templates. We use it to help promote our podcasts. And I've also heard from hundreds and hundreds of ADs about how they use Gipper to promote their school social media. Go to Gipper.com, mention the podcast, you'll get 10% off. Lastly, we want to acknowledge our podcast partners, We Coach and the Global Community of Women in High School Sports. Two great organizations that you should be a part of. We Coach and the Global Community of Women in High School Sports. If you got a suggestion for the podcast, let me know. If you'd like to be on the podcast, let us have you on, and you can share your story. You can brag on your school. You can offer tips to other athletic directors. It's all part of the Educational AD podcast, and we do appreciate your support. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.